And now back to the continuation of the story from a few minutes ago. You're on the Best of the Morning X with Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. 99X.
And you know, one of the most common themes that we found when dealing with professional men is how important their career is. And this is something that women didn't really understand.
They don't understand how important guys' career is. Let's expand on that, gentlemen.
Let me just first preface the career thing, because we've been getting beat up on this book tour about how we don't think a woman's career is important. We do. We say in Marry Me and in What Men Want, we want to marry and date professional women that are independent with their own career. So that being said.
But this is a skinny on the man's point of view of the career. You know, as children, as boys growing up, you know, you have this competitive spirit built into you. You know, you're on the football team, you're playing sports, you know, you always strive for good grades. Right. And, you know, when it gets to the point when you're a little bit older, you know, like Chris, he's a little bit older now. He's got the pear-shaped body, so he can't really compete in sports or anything. All of these competitive feelings and your passion goes into your career. Right. And, you know, women really don't understand how much of part of your life the career is. And in addition, how that directly affects how you view your relationship and your commitment.
But, you know, I don't think you're really telling tales out of school by saying that in general, and again, in general doesn't mean in every case, that in general, men are career-oriented and women are more family-oriented. That's just that's one of the inherent differences in men and women. Men have always men were the ones in caveman days who went out and killed the animal and brought home the food while women took care of the kids. I mean, it's always been like that. And I'm not saying we're cavemen still, but in general, men have always been more career-driven.
Is there a time limit or a window that you should say this is it when living together before, you know, popping the question?
Good question.
Should women have a time to say, you know what, in a year, if he doesn't do it, I've got to move on?
Well, let's first start off with the concept of ultimatums. A lot of women that we've spoken to have utilized the ultimatum in a way to try to get their man to commit.
Because you know why? Because it works.
The pressure.
Well, I would say, and what we found is that the pressure exactly on the relationship causes the professional man to run for the hills. That's not the way to do it. But we don't tell women to stay in relationships forever. We put a time limit of about 3 years on it, give or take some
You see
time.
these people that are lurking around with some guy for 7-8 years. You say, well, when are you going to... Well, I don't know. It just... Come on, 8 years?
Relationship coma. And that's why Marry Me was written for women in this very situation, because after What Men Want was written, people came to us and said, what's next, guys? You got me into a good relationship. I understand more about men, but how do I get them to commit? And really what we found was all these people were stuck in these dead-end relationship comas that, like, men just had,
So you think 3 years is it?
Well, in general, I mean,
and same with the guy. Like after 3 years, if you don't just keep her around.
Well, the guy's going to keep doing it. I mean, that's how guys are. I mean, you know, they'll string women along, and we tell them that, you know, in Marry Me, and
it's always the guy stringing along too. You never see the woman that's just stringing along some guy.
No, that doesn't exist. That situation doesn't exist.
But we tell women, get out of those dead-end relationships.
But luckily for women, there is a way to get the man closer and want to commit faster.
How?
And this is what happened to Rich, and it happened to myself and to other professional men that we've spoken to.
And it's what we wrote about.
And it's what we wrote about in Marry Me, is exactly this, that the closer the woman gets to the man's career, the more she understands what he does, the rewards, the sacrifices, the things he likes and dislikes, and really and truly get involved in his career, the closer he will naturally become to her and want to get married sooner. And we speak in great detail about this in the entire book. It's a big theme of the book. And we suggest that if women do this, they will absolutely get married sooner. Now, here's the one thing, is that we've been getting hammered, like Chris said, by saying the career, women have careers, and isn't relationships give and take? And we speak about that in Marry Me. We talk about the give and take. We talk about wanting to support our women and doing so. But we say, even if you're a corporate attorney as a woman, can you not get involved in the man's career to the extent that he needs? Because this is what he truly needs.
Well, let's talk a little bit about ultimatums, because I know we as guys want to sit here and say, hey, don't give us ultimatums, lady, because I'm telling you they ain't working. The reality is that they do work, or women wouldn't be giving them. They don't work all the time, but I'm sure we all have guy friends.
Well, they work
more
good
than
or
one
bad.
or two.
They'll make you run or make you stay.
I'm saying I'll bet we all have at least a few guy friends who are in marriages because they got an ultimatum.
But those are like those tall tales. You hear about them, and there's always one or two And that's what everyone highlights, is and make them seem like they're effective. But do you know how many guys run for the hills? Relationships you haven't heard of? Absolutely. Every guy says, "Oh, she gave me the ultimatum," and that's why I'm.
I think it'll be more running for the hills than not.
Yeah, the reason why is because all of a sudden, the man is thinking, "Wow, this woman who I've loved for the past 3 years, all of a sudden is pressuring me and giving me these ultimatums. Is this what she's going to be like when we're married? Is she going to continue to do that? Is she going to become a monster?" I mean,
I'm saying they wouldn't exist if they didn't work on some level. And I agree with you guys. Yeah. Nobody wants them, and listen. You know what? I think any guy with stones is going to run when you got an ultimatum. I think if you buckle to an ultimatum,
and in that case, it works.
You buckle for the ultimatum, your misery is set up.
Absolutely.
Let's talk to Michelle let's talk to Michelle on line 4.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
We're here to help, Michelle.
I'm 32 and have been in a relationship with a guy who's also 32 for about a little over 4 years. We're both very busy career. I'm an accountant. He is in the restaurant industry and works an awful lot of hours, which I've always been supportive of. But we don't live together. We both have separate houses. But about every 6 months, he gets into a panic and goes with oh my God, I think I need to see other people, because he just absolutely cannot take that step forward. And I'm just at the point where I don't know what to do anymore. I'm tired of always being there when he comes back, but it's really hard to not.
Do you want to hear the truth?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
buckle in.
Are you driving right now?
Yes.
Pull over.
Go ahead.
This relationship doesn't sound very good. Relationships go in two directions, up or down. And this one seems to be going down.
Spiraling.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those tumultuous relationships that it's probably very good at times and then very, very bad at times, especially when he brings up other women. And maybe something happened early on that killed this relationship, but nevertheless, it just doesn't sound like it's going to be a very good one. And you'll probably be in this spiral for quite a bit of time and never get married.
Right. He seems he's scared to death of it. I've been married, and he never has, and so I have there's no big urge to get married. I mean, to him, but we're best friends and everything. But he gets too close, and then he panics and flies. And he's never gone and seen anybody else, but he just absolutely just can't take that step forward.
I think
maybe you have to cut him loose and see if he comes back.
It's time to flush him.
Yeah,
I would cut him loose, see if he comes back, and if he did,
that's what all my friends told me too.
Because you're the one agonizing over it.
Man?
Is he what?
A very large man. And
who?
Does he know where the station is? Because I don't.
You don't. Get
out of here quick.
Going to challenge him to a duel.
He's not in his car either. I wouldn't have called. Trust me.
There's more to the story. This bit resumes after a brief intermission. More Best of the Morning X is coming up next on 99X.